This thing looks
Welcome everybody to the architecture meeting on March 14th. Um, so looks like we've had some busy folks, especially Julia,
yeah.
doing some of the layout mock-ups.
Yeah, that
So
looks cool.
let's go ahead and just let me see if I have that link real quick and start sharing.
I like this scan now.
Let me get some windows out of the way here. And so this is the first one. Very nice, Julia.
Yo, this is awesome. Damn.
It's a great idea for the landing board that we talked about. What did you make
This is
this in?
amazing, man. Yeah.
I use actually Bootstrap Studio. Well, I get a grip on actual web development again. But
Cool.
yeah, it has the CSS and HTML and JavaScript configuration, so I could also share the file in the repo or something.
Yeah, that'd be great because we can definitely take that CSS and stuff and apply it to our framework. And in this felt world, each one of these, like the level of preparedness, the mean time, those things are what they call cards inside of Svelte, so they're easy to do on that front. And then we'll need a. I don't think their cards have the shadow effect to it, but that's just CSS that we can apply. Oh, you guys can hear my dog growling.
No way.
They're fighting over a bone today.
He always comes in, Steve, and he's just behind you on that mat.
Yeah,
He just stares at you.
yeah. And I think over on this side, you have the little expand collapse. I think that's perfect. I like that look
Yeah,
on
it's
this
cool,
front.
man. This thing's
I
good,
think
eh?
I think it's beautiful, Elizabeth. I think you did an
Man.
amazing job. Really, it's
I
beautiful.
mean, this should be a t-shirt, eh? I mean, I'd wear this.
No, you have a really mature eye for
Oh,
this stuff,
I also like
and
the
like
diagram,
myself.
like they're cool, eh? Like the threat model. It's nice to see it in a, I think who was talking about that? Kate, I think, was
Yeah,
talking about it.
and I
It
was
looks
kind of
so
talking about
cool like that.
the same thing. I've seen this type of triad um, being used in our pro hockey league stats, where
Okay, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah,
they'll
yeah,
throw different points on here, and then it kind of gives you this like web graphing, which is really cool. I'll have to
yeah. This
find
looks
out
really cool.
the what this is called. Do you know what this object is called? This type of graph?
It looked like a pyramid.
It's not a pyramid. It's kind of like a spider chart. I can't remember the right name right now, but yeah,
Okay,
Bootstrap has the built-in code for that.
okay, because we'll be able to pull that across and apply it pretty easily.
Yeah, actually, you can add even more and more features to get the right shape.
Yep. Yeah,
Could
because
you
we'll
use this?
have. Go ahead, Sasha.
No, sorry, Steve. Could you use this for your personas too? Like, what persona would be more leaning towards which information more, you know?
I think that would be more on this side over here. Our personas would be kind of on this side. Would be
Yeah.
what you're going to look at. So,
But could you
organ.
show, could you use it, would it be an idea to use a graph like that that shows what they lean towards more in terms of information that they require?
I don't know. I'd have to
Uh,
think about that.
I have an
Uh,
idea.
Yes, Arvid.
Thus, we can create like different personas UI, and when then user like sign up or login based on his designation, we will like show the UI. If he is the VP of engineering, we will show you him the engineering UI. If he is from security team, we will show him the security UI. That's like the toggling features.
Yeah, that either we do a drop down with the toggle with the persona at the top here, or we just do the menu items, and each menu item is slated towards a different persona.
But I think
What was the what?
we can
Oh,
tackle that
sorry.
later.
Yeah,
We can
and
start
What was
implementing this
the
UI.
and
what was the
remember,
program again? This program. What did you use? Julia, what did you use? What was the program called?
For what? Sorry, I got a little
for this whole
sidetracked.
layout, what was the tool that you used again?
Bootstrap
Yeah.
Studio.
Bootstrap
We have,
Studio.
yeah, we have a free
Wow.
license for like 4 years, so it's free to use. So just let me know if anyone wants access. Also, we have Figma for around 2 years too.
Yeah, I
Oh, I
think
was just interested to know. Wow, this thing's cool, eh? Shit.
yeah. So I think on the on each one of these, yeah, here's one I was talking about that has more of the different spider graph with the different access points.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That seriously looks amazing, eh?
Yeah.
Jeepers.
Also see like in the top right side, if you click on the messaging icon, they are also pretty sick. The alert and the messaging
Yeah.
stuff.
I like
Yeah, I like that.
the
Yeah,
message
it's super
boards.
cool. Yeah.
The one thing we have to
So cool.
remember
Alerts.
is we're going
Good
to
boy.
we're not going to require a login to have access to stuff. You'll only require a login if you want to update stuff. So if you want to like submit an open source project to be stored in the database, what the idea I had was you would create a profile, and that profile you generate a token, and that token then can then be used in the CLI and stuff like that to say that I have access to upload to this domain, for example, the data.
But
Did you see
the
Chicken the dog?
What was that?
Under the alert, Chicken the dog.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it has those default avatars. So I was like, maybe we should have a pet or something. So I can like
No,
make some
it's
things
perfect.
on Canva. I was thinking since we are DevSecOps, we could provide statistics per area in each one of the phases of the DevSecOps cycle. So that's what's that part supposed to represent.
That's very cool. The dog is perfect.
Cool. Perfect. Cool. Excellent
Steve,
work.
it doesn't
Yeah,
create any
so
problem
good.
like if someone like accidentally clicked a different URL and he got the UI for a different like company, and he got access to those data.
What would happen is if we're focusing with Ortelius, just focusing on the open source side initially, that you would have a separate URL. So you'd have the public URL that we would be running, and then you'd have an internal URL for your proprietary data. And then we would federate the data across between the public into the private.
Got it.
Yeah,
That works.
also that helps a lot. For example, we could use Datadog for that, I guess. We also have 2 years free with the professional plan already approved. I'm still working on that, but it's ongoing.
Okay. Yeah, I have to see on the Arango DB replication what we need to do on that front to do the replicate or federate. I haven't really gotten into the architecture of the federation piece yet. I wanted to get something out there first and then worry about the federation of the data later. I'm sure there's some sort of way we could have multiple Arango databases kind of connect to each other and stuff like that. If not, the worst case is we pull, it's a duplication of data, but we'd pull the public open source data into the private repo. Your private repo ends up growing, but that's our worst case scenario. And let me see.
Julia, do you get this as part of your, are you still studying? Is it like part of your,
yeah, actually.
And
this is so cool, eh?
Arvin, can you drop that the PDF in the chat if there's a link to that?
Let me. It doesn't have. It's a PDF. You have to download. It doesn't have a like link option
okay.
to like drop a PDF.
Yeah, let me go into Discord and grab it then.
It's not that expensive either. Looks quite reasonable, even for a South African.
Yeah, actually.
It's actually quite reasonable. It's like $59 for a lifetime access. Jeepers,
so like amazing. Yesterday we got an attack in the Discord server. So you will see I deleted all the messages.
Oh yeah, I saw that. The notifications were crazy. I thought it was just kind of like a test or something, but
and I kicked out that member from our server.
Oh, good. Thanks for taking care of that. So this is one of the other reports that Julia was able to produce. This is going up against looks like our repos.
Yeah, it's I still haven't access. Sorry, I still haven't request an access. So it's kind of like what anyone who can fork the repository but have no privileges whatsoever will be able to pull from Power BI for them to use kind of like all the public data from the repo. Well, I thought it was pretty interesting because the issues and the layout, it's kind of like very neat for us to
I like to
use.
This is, I think we'll be able to copy some of this, these graphs and things, and some of the way they do the boxes and the different charts. We'll have to figure out where some of this stuff will be able to be put into play in the other UI. Looks like I closed it, but I think that will be, we can steal some stuff from here and add to the other part of the UI in some of the places. So this is great that you're able to generate this and give us an idea with some real data what the different graphing tools and the visualization looks like.
Oh, that's clever. So you use the GitHub Ortelius repo as a template, like an example?
It's a place to gather the info from.
Looks really smart.
You can grab all the info from your private repository and from public ones. From public ones, it just restricts the main 3 pages of the report because it's very private information that they can recover because they don't have access to permissions. But if you run it in your own repo, you get all the graphics.
Yeah. So I think like this one here, I saw real quick, like this one commits by and additions by date, and they kind of have the date, the timeline series that we were talking about. Something like that we could definitely fit in into our UI here to be able to spin through the different dates. Last time we were talking about what to show at the highest level. So some of the things, if I just open another tab. One of the things that we decided on to make our lives easier because we keep on generating versions and versions of stuff, that we would go ahead and show the latest version just like GitHub does. So, and if you want to go to the history, we would go ahead and implement a history chart like this. And that slider with the time frame series, we may want to put at the top here to allow people to go back through history instead of going through the long list. Now,
that's a cool idea.
One of the things I was thinking about, because of the way the new data model is working, every time you create a new version of a component, for example, we go through and generate the NFT, and the NFT is immutable. So we actually have a SHA for that NFT as well. So what I was thinking was, if we look at just GitHub itself, it doesn't show versions anymore. You don't, like in the old like CVS and Subversion, you used to get the 1.1 and the 1.2 and all that for the versioning numbers. And in the GitHub world, in the Git world, we have the SHAs. And I was thinking that we may want to, on the component versions, drop that numeric numbering and actually move over to the SHAs like they have here. And literally show it this way, where this would be the version of the component, the short 8-digit SHA of that component version and so on.
That makes sense.
And then instead of having the version number being like 1.10, so let me show you what I'm talking about.
It makes sense, because then you're piecing what you're seeing visually in the one to the other, right? You're putting them. Those are both unique. It makes sense.
And it's more in line with the with what folks are used to. So like here, this is what I'm talking about. Right now, we're generating this version number, and it keeps on incrementing. And instead, we can just replace that with the NFT SHA. So in our list, we would have just the main comp item CRUD, and then from there, we bring that up in our overview like we do for our landing page for that component version. So we would come into the latest version, we'd have all of our boxes and stuff saying all the details about that component version. And if you want to go into the history would be, instead of these version numbers, 478, 480, that would just be the history of the SHAs on that front. It's just going to mirror over to Git, and the way people think about Git a little more easy. And I think we'll be able to get it's just going to simplify the adoption, I think. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me, because you're tying the two together, right? You're tying your GitHub or your version control system with your visualization and it's kind of makes it seamless.
Yeah.
We can also like enable or add some tags in it. So like if this is generated by Renovate, then the tags will be the Renovate, and the user can easily filter out that stuff.
Yeah, and I was thinking that would be the next pass, would be to enable tagging like you do in Git. You can apply tags to certain commits. So if we go back to the deploy hub, let me see. This is just going to be a bunch of tags based on releases. So these are our releases that we have. And that's the tag that's tied to a specific commit. So we could down the road, we could add in the tagging as well on a second pass. I don't think we need it right away.
Yeah.
But let's say something went to a lot of the tools allow you to do tagging of miscellaneous things, for organizational purposes. And if we look at our repo, so this is our Rango database with some of the component version details. And you can see that we have our key here. And this key is the immutable NFT hash of all this data that we have. So because we have the blockchain as part of our solution as well, we have to have a immutable blockchain information as part of that. So we may have two keys, one for the blockchain ledger entry and another one for the NFT itself. Or we just do the blockchain and then over to the NFT. One of the things I want to make sure that we do is enable the blockchain to be optional, because some people internally may not have access to XRPL ledger. So that was my thought process on that. And I think that'll fit well into this design, being able to drill down into the different components and stuff like that, and do some of the navigation at that level.
I think we have to tell Elizabeth all of the different UI and graph stuff that we needed. Then she can figure out how we can arrange them.
Yeah.
I'm taking notes, and actually I was looking some of the samples that I got for a time series, but in the Power BI report. Just let me look for the image to show you in a while.
Yeah, let me stop sharing. You can take over sharing there. You should have access to share. And I'll have to go back into our architecture docs when we're doing the personas to make sure that we have, like you said, Arvin, what data that each persona needs and how we can add that into the navigation.
Oh,
Yeah.
a lot of windows in here. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so this was kind of like missing, but can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I was looking for this example of the dashboard that I built. So this is what I was thinking for time series associated with this data. In this case, it's for a machine learning model, but we could get an accuracy of how secure was the events that were monitored in a given time, either with this type of visualization or the one that is shown above, and the elements linked together. So every time you select something, the other one updates so that you can see the peaks in time. So maybe something like that could work.
Yep, definitely.
So do the two correlate? They work together as you move
Yes.
along. Oh, that's very cool.
It's for the time series data, right?
Yeah.
Does we have any time series data?
Well, everything that
Like
we
a bunch.
have, every time we create a version, we know when that version was created. So we do record the times of when something was created. Also, we know when a time when something was deployed. We'll record that as well. So we have two different times to kind of measure against: creation time and deployment time.
Great. I think we can do one thing. Let's start with building the UI, and we can start like demoing all of the different stuff that we know. And after we just create a base, then we will start converting them to the personas and the dashboard stuff.
Yeah, I think what we need to do next is to just lay out a list under each persona what the boxes are going to be for the data points. So I think that's going to be the next step, and then from there, once we have the data points, Arvin, then we could figure out how we want to represent that data in the UI, whether it's going to be a time series graph or it's going to be um, that bubble chart or the spider web thing.
Yes.
So let me put that on my to-do list to create a summary of the data points for each persona.
Julia, you're definitely heading up the front end web like design.
Yeah. I think we can do it parallelly. Like all the data point that we have needed, we like we know the start integrating them, and we will add them like parallelly. Because I
Yep,
think in this way, if we can do it like that, so before our visionary summit, our version, we can release the next version.
yep, yep. Because we could always, based on what Julia's come up with and what we've seen, we know that it's going to be this box layout. So let me share my. So we know it's going to be this box layout of stuff that we want to have, even at this level. It's still boxes that we're going to fill out data into. So it's going to be pretty easy for us to say, oh, now I want to add another box that's going to be this new metric that we need to grab and represent. So I think we're going to be pretty easy to expand it, like you said, Arvin. Start with some base stuff and then keep on adding more metrics in.
Yes. So in this way, if someone wants to see what we are building, we can show them
Yep,
directly.
yep. So I have to. I'll add all this into the notes and stuff. But basically, the takeaways that we have from today, that we're going to go with use the commit number or the SHA for each version instead of this like the schematic numbering that we're currently doing. Follow the GitHub navigation of the commits, and then also on our to-do list is to figure out the data points for each persona. And then once we have that, our next meeting we can determine whether we're going to use the spider chart or if we're going to use something like this. How we're going to represent that data visually in each one of the boxes. Did I miss anything on on that list?
No, sounds good. Sounded all right.
Steve, I just have one comment before I forget
Yep.
to drop off. Julia, Elizabeth, is there a way that is there a file that your design work can be captured in?
Oh yeah, actually I shared the file in a zip.
So what
in the
I want you
Slack.
to check your file in because I want to make sure you start getting GitHub pull requests approved. So I don't know if there's an issue out there that Steve that she can use.
Yeah, let me look. I think I
Did you
need to
make this
create a
in
new.
Figma?
No, it's not. It's a different. It's in the Power BI.
Yeah.
So I'll
Julie,
create
did
a
you make this in
new
Figma?
new
Sorry.
repo.
Or just create an issue under our current release schedule.
Right, but she has files to check in, so I have to figure out where to check those files into.
Yeah, I get it.
So,
Well, if you could figure that out for her so that she can start,
what's your GitHub handle? If you could drop that in Discord.
Actually, I think it's the same as Discord. Yeah, it should be that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find you.
Tracy, you are giving a talk today.
Oh yeah, the
I-
JFrog talk.
I am doing a JFrog talk today. I got to remember I should sign in 45 minutes. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah,
I
I
don't-
saw that in.
I don't think that's the right handle.
Sorry, I just shared the right link.
Okay. On the Zoom chat?
Yep.
Oh, perfect. Okay, let me save that real quick. I have to add you to a file so you have permissions and stuff. So you get an invite to the repo if you don't have access already. So I will take care of that, and I'll create a repo just for you to check your stuff in. That way, we can get it all in one place and not squash anything else and make your life easy.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure it was something useful before pulling an issue or something.
No,
But I'm glad
and I'll
to
make
like
sure there's a corresponding issue out there as well. But I'll get your user ID set up as soon as we're done here, and for the access. And then once that's out there, then I can start associating your user ID with stuff and make it easy for you to get stuff done.
Yeah, seriously, great work. It sure looks amazing.
Excellent work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no skills in this area.
Neither do we. Neither do we.
Yeah.
We're
The only,
terrible
only,
at it.
the only skill Sasha has is he can change his font on his terminal window. That's it.
Thanks, Steve.
That's his
I'm
UI
background
extent.
Trying to find a bone there.
Yeah.
I mean, ARM developer, Raspberry Pi, pretty hardcore.
Sasha, just so you know, Steve's not that much better. He's not. I swear. But sometimes engineering minds have no sense for UI.
No,
Yeah.
I admit it totally. I am terrible at UI.
We all are backend and DevOps people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Julia comes and then just puts this thing up and you're like, wow, that's
Yeah.
what it's supposed to look like.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's a front end.
Yeah, that's what a front end is supposed to be.
Yeah,
No, it's beautiful. It's absolutely. I even love the colors. I thought we would do
Yeah.
something with a black background, but I love the way you designed it. I think it looks really elegant.
Yeah.
Well, with those colors, even if we go to a dark mode, like the green
Yeah.
highlights and stuff will fit in well.
Mm.
So cool. All right,
Cool,
everybody.
guys.
Hey, gotta jump.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
See you,
Bye.
everybody.
Cheers.
Thanks.